Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Earlier on this week, we got a pretty cool intel drop from Sledgehammer and from Call of Duty detailing the multiplayer maps for Modern Warfare 3. We actually got our very first bit of gameplay, surprisingly, in this too, showing off a little bit of the movement, and we've broken that down some. I actually had like an in-depth video over on my second channel breaking down the MW3 movement that we've seen so far versus MW2 and how it's basically like 2 times faster, which is very interesting to note. But within this intel drop, we also got a few other additional details about Modern Warfare 3's overall year of content. We know the game is going to be launching with those 16 original MW2 2009 maps remastered. Some of them are going to be a bit different, and we'll touch on that here a bit. But with that, we also know there's going to be even more new content coming throughout the year, and it seems like, based off of the information that they've shared so far, it is something that pretty much everyone has been asking for several years now. So as we dive into the details here, if you guys are new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with all the latest going on in COD, whether it's MW2, Warzone, or obviously MW3 now, as we are in that season where pretty much every single week we're getting new updates, new reveals, new announcements. I'll have all the intel you need to know right here on a daily basis, so feel free to hit that subscribe button, join us on the road to 1 million subs, and if you guys enjoy the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. Much love to everyone who does take the time to do so. But in the actual intel drop that we got for MW3, we learned a handful of things that we previously didn't have guaranteed or confirmed to us, right? For one, the remastered maps themselves. We know it's the MW2 maps. We've seen a good amount of images and actual video from a lot of them now up until this point through the intel drop, and I gotta say, I like the look of them. They're definitely remastered. The quality has been upped, sort of to be expected for remastered maps on a game that is as old as MW2 is, back from 2009. But an important note that they actually mentioned with these maps is that every single one of the MW3 launch maps is built from the ground up. And this is important because we know that right now in COD, a lot of what we see between multiplayer and Warzone is shared assets. You know, you have things like the Vondel waterfront map in multiplayer that obviously takes away from Vondel as a battle royale map. It's basically one-to-one, just copying the maps over and cutting them into sections for multiplayer. That's not going to be the case with MW3. Instead, every one of the MW3 multiplayer maps is just that, an MW3 multiplayer map. Warzone is going to be built from its ground up and have its own separate locations. And even if there are crossovers where maybe we have, Terminal on the Warzone map, or let's say we have Rust on the Warzone map, they're not going to be one-to-one because they're 2 separate entities there. So that is a cool little note there, and something that I'm definitely a fan of. The more unique content we have in various areas of the game, the better, just because it keeps everything feeling fresh. Now, as mentioned, the maps themselves, yes, they're remasters. We know these maps if you played MW2 2009. Something kind of weird to note that honestly just makes me feel old is that there's probably going to be more players on MW3 that haven't played these maps than players that have back from 2009. If you think about it, I mean, the COD player base now versus back then is drastically larger. So like I said, that kind of just makes me feel old because this is all nostalgia for me, right? MW2, my first COD, my absolute favorite COD. Getting to see these maps again is very cool. For a lot of players, though, it'll be their first time jumping into Rundown, jumping into Skid Row, so on and so forth. But the maps, as you may remember them if you played them back in the day, are not all going to be the exact same layout. Now, to some that may be a concern, to some that might not matter as much, but I don't think it's going to be huge changes, but there will be subtle alterations to the map that will allow you to traverse them or maneuver through them a bit different. For instance, on Estate, they detail that the lake behind the boathouse is now accessible for wet works. Operators can maneuver in and under the water and can swim out to a platform overlooking the area. There's also a greater military presence on the Estate grounds than there was before. So small changes like that are going to offer a different way to actually maneuver around the map, and certain engagements will be different because of that. So definitely something worth noting. But then we get into what I consider to be the really good news for MW3 as a whole, basically, that honestly directly addresses a lot of the concern with this game. A lot of people are hearing, oh, MW3 is going to launch with all the MW2 maps. Well, that's not new content. Is this actually a new game? Yes, it is. For one, new campaign, new multiplayer, new co-op, new post-launch support. That's all the same stuff that every COD has. So it's a new game, but with familiar content. However, for those looking for the unique content, MW3 is providing more than what we've seen really in any COD recently at all. For one, they do say, as detailed in the MW3 reveal blog, in addition to the 16 modernizations of the MW2 2009 maps, MW3 Multiplayer will also include 4 massive environments comprising 3 new battle maps where ground war and invasion game modes will be fought against monumental backdrops. There will also be a gargantuan war map, as Modern Warfare 3 marks the welcome return and evolution of the legendary war mode. So initially, right away at launch, for new and unique and fresh content, we are going to have 3 all-new battle maps that also confirm ground war and invasion returning, and 1 all-new war map. So those will be never played before environments that we'll all be experiencing for the very first time. But then beyond that, that's where things get really exciting in my opinion. They say, expect the flow of free post-launch content, including core 6v6 maps and additional multiplayer content, to continue after launch. As previously stated, we'll have over 12 all new core 6v6 maps in our seasons. So right away, they're guaranteeing at minimum 12 new 6v6 maps throughout the year. So 5 or 6 seasons, presumably. And they do guarantee that we're going to see 3 all new 6v6 maps on season 1's debut, then also 3 new 6v6 maps during season 2's debut. So right away, within the first 2 seasons, the first 4 months of the game, presumably, we're going to have 6 new maps, completely new 6v6 maps debuting in game. Keep in mind, season 1 is also said to be launching just a month or so after launch, just under a month after launch, apparently. Early December 5th is that rumored and leaked date for the season 1 drop, which means that, 3.5 weeks after the game is out, we're going to have 3 new maps available on top of the 16 MW2 maps as well. So for those looking for the new and unique and fresh content, MW3 is going to be offering that right away, and 6 maps guaranteed to be brand new within the first 2 seasons. Let's say the game has 6 seasons in total. They are setting up for a lot to be dropping basically every single season. Keep in mind, those 3 new 6v6 maps are not the only things that are going to be dropping in season 1 and season 2. Pretty much every single COD that has Modern Warfare in the title has seen Shoot House debut as a map and seen Shipment debut as a map. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see those sort of remastered and thrown into the mix. It seems like that's pretty much a standard for every COD. I mean, Shipment is there every year now because everyone wants it for camo grinding and whatnot, so we could probably expect that as well. Plus, we're going to see new maps for ground war or battle maps. We're going to see new maps for war. If Gunfight or Champions Hill or some sort of 2v2/3v3 mode debuts as well, we're going to see new maps for that added in if that mode launches as just a standalone thing, and then also in season as well. So it seems like while launch, yes, the new content will be as much as we've seen, with current COD titles where it's mainly new maps and players can't stand them and they say to bring back the old ones. We're going to have those remastered MW2 maps, but then the new content is going to be there almost right away once we all get our hands on the game. So definitely some good news there. And for those asking for unique and original content, MW3 is delivering that with the seasonal updates, but then also they're doing it in a way that is far greater than what we've seen in recent years. In terms of actual new content, MW2 was lacking. It was mostly just remaster maps or maps taken from other sections of the game, like the Battle Royale maps, like some of the Resurgence maps. Even dating back to, Cold War MW 2019, the actual new maps were kind of few and far from, and MW3 is really one-upping everything else there, which I'm very excited to hear, and hopefully that's a consistent pattern throughout, seasons 3, 4, 5, 6. We might not be getting 3 new maps every single season, but we're going to have over 12 by the time it's all said and done. Definitely some promising news there. We'll have to see if it lives up to the hype, though. That being said, that is going to wrap things up for this one. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it, would be really appreciated. And if you're new here, you want to guarantee you're always up to date with everything going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.